Okay, so let's turn back up to the front of the workbook. This thing that you see on the screen is not in your workbook. It's just a little bit of a poll. So Dot kind of started this conversation, but I want to drill down a little bit more in this conversation. So I want you to think about all the presentations you've been privy to or subject to, depending on how they went. Whether they were in college or a law school, or whether they were professional training, or whether it doesn't matter, where you were sitting in the audience and someone's in the front of the room. What I want to do is I want to see by show of hands, and we're going to move down this chart here, what percentage of all those presentations you've gotten a chance to see would you classify as great presentations? And I don't mean to lower the bar. I mean where you would tell someone, you need to see that presentation. It was awesome. Okay? So let's start. If 100% of the presentations you've been to qualify at that level, see a show of hands? All right. Didn't think that would happen. Let's see, 90% of the presentation. Awesome presentation. Everybody should go. I tell everybody I know they should. Okay. 80%. 8 out of 10 of them. Just. All right. 70%. So 7 out of 10. Awesome. Just great presentation. Just knock. I will go see it again if I had it. All right, let's keep going. 60%. All right. Okay, so we got a couple of people at 60%. By the way, not heavily committed. I didn't know if you saw their body language, but it's not like so maybe they'll come in stronger at 50%. Anybody at half the presentations. Now, is everyone noticing that only 4 or 5 hands have gone up so far? And you think of how many presentations you've been in, and we're already saying half of those presentations did not meet that awesome standard. So let's keep going. 40% maybe? Still, most hands have not gone up. 30%, 20%, 10%. Look at that. 75% of the people in this room said 3 out of 10 times you went to a presentation, you were impressed with it. That means 7 out of 10 times we were in a presentation, most of us were sitting there going, they could have just emailed me this PowerPoint. Now, imagine, if you would, how many hours of your time that translates into. And for those of us who have this faculty teaching kind of thing going on, it's important because when someone says you get a chance to go to training, we want them to smile, not groan. Because a lot of times people are sent to training and they think it's punishment. Have you noticed that? I want you to go to training. What did I do? So their first response is that this is something I'm going to have to endure. It does not have to be that way, but the real question is why? Why when by the way, all the people that were given those presentations that you didn't care very much for, they said the same things you say. So even those of us who give presentations are thinking the same thing. So the real question is why? So we're going to start this conversation with some paradigms around presentation. Our first thing. So presentation paradigms. So I have 2 dimes there because I look for a lot of clip art and there is no clip art around paradigms. So we decided to just go with paradigms. Sometimes you just do what you can do, you know what I'm saying? All right. So there are 3 questions I believe that you'll find on the inside front cover on page 2, some true or false things. So I'm going to have you fill in the blanks for each of these and then circle true or false, and then we'll come back and see how we did as a group. So presentation paradigms. First one, some topics, and just fill this in, some topics are just boring. Some topics are just boring. Then circle true or false. Don't tell me the answer. Circle true or false. Second one, some audiences just won't get it. Some audiences just won't get it. True or false. And the third one, you shouldn't get nervous. You shouldn't get nervous. True or false? Okay. So everyone's rung in on these. Let's see how we're going to do here. So some topics are just boring. If you said true, let me see a show of hands. Said false, let me see a show of hands. The answer is false. There are no boring topics. There are only boring presentations and perhaps boring presenters. It's false. And here's why, as presenters, we have to embrace this. Because if we assume the topic is boring, it gives us a pass. So if they're bored, it's because of the topic. Has anyone ever had that thought before? Yeah, what do I get to do? I get to talk about paperwork. Some of the things what were some of the things you guys teach? Record retention? Oh God, record retention. How boring could that be? The topic is never boring. As presenters, when we think the topic is boring, it gives us a pass. We don't try as hard because what could we make exceptional or exciting about records retention? Well, I can tell you right off the bat, if you don't understand record retention, can your life get very difficult very fast? So there's nothing boring about your life getting difficult very fast. Everybody got me? So it's not the topic. So as presenters, no matter what you have an opportunity to present, there are no boring topics. That gives you a pass. Effective presenters don't take a pass. Here's the next one. Some audiences just won't get it. If you say true, let me see a show of hands. These people just won't get it. See, some of y'all are changing your answers already. I know what's going on. If you circle true, raise your hand. Be honest with me. Okay. If you circle false, good, because the answer is false. If the audience doesn't get it, it's not the audience's fault. It's the presenter's fault. I'm going to let you marinate on that one for a moment. Because you'll hear people do this all the time. I told you I've gotten a chance to do a few presentations, like thousands. And I cannot tell you how many times the person that sponsored me in pulled me aside and said, look, Greg, these people, ... And what they're really telling me is that they sucked the last time they gave a presentation to those people. That's what they're really telling me. You know, just say what you can. Some of them will get it, some of them won't. You got to know these people. If we start prejudging our audiences relative to how well they think we'll receive what we have to share, we're taking a pass. That group doesn't get it. So do what you can with them. It'll stick, maybe it won't. They'll be back. Now, I know you have never said that, but have you ever heard other people say that about audiences? Perhaps people in Indiana saying that about audiences. Just trying to give you a little space there.
Sometimes that's true.
What is true?
That the audience just won't get it because sometimes the presentation and the audience are a mismatch.
But it's not the audience, it's the presentation. I agree with you, but it's not the audience. The audience by default is not ever the issue. It is possibly I didn't do the right preparation, I don't have the right topic for the right audience, and we'll talk about all those things. I agree with you. But when it's the audience and that's the only consideration and we're like, that means we're not going to try as hard. Have you been in a presentation ever where you could tell the person just wasn't trying that hard? Almost as if they were presenting from a completely obligatory stance, like they drew the short straw and they have to do the training. There's a lot of things about that become weird. You shouldn't get nervous. True. If you're a professional, you shouldn't get nervous. True by a show of hands, true? False by a show of hands. The answer is false. If you don't feel a little something when you're getting in front of people, something's wrong with the way you've prepped. I have the awesome responsibility of 4 hours of your time today. What do you think that's doing to my stomach as I'm getting ready for the day? Butterflies are going berserk right now. Now, do I look like I'm extraordinarily nervous right now? No. And there's some reasons for that we'll talk about over the course of the day.